But there are thousands of people out there who have been medically described as dead, but have come back, carrying with them tons of incredible stories. We call these near-death experiences, because again, we believe if it was actual death, they wouldn't be alive to tell the story. But is that true? We might just never know. There's a wealth of information out there with regards to near-death experiences. People who have been medically described as dead for hours, and some days, come back to life with stories of out-of-body experiences, memories of their time in the afterlife, down to some incredible specifics about this side of life that they just couldn't have made up. One thing many people who have near-death experiences agree upon is the fact that the phrase, "life flashes before your eyes," is very true. Just before the heart flatlines, we're often presented with a view of our entire life. However, it's not like we think it is. It's not the big moments in life that flash before our eyes. It's not the wedding, the graduation, the first time you heard the cry of your child. It's just random stuff. It's riding your bike as a kid, sitting at your desk and randomly checking your email, staring at a white cat while climbing a flight of stairs. It's the things that we don't give any thought to, the moments we don't usually remember in life, that are brought before us in the face of death. If you thought staring at a white cat while climbing a flight of stairs was oddly specific, well, it's because it is. A young man who went through a near-death experience saw this moment as one of life's flashes. However, he could not remember ever being on that staircase or seeing a white cat. So after he was resuscitated, he was able to draw the layout of the staircase, the apartment it led to, and describe the cat to his mother. And she told him that they had once lived in that exact building, with the same staircase and apartment layout, and they had lived there with someone who owned a white cat. Not such a crazy story, until you realize that he and his mother moved out of that apartment when he was just 14 months old. This begs the question, are all of our memories still in there, even the ones we've forgotten? When we die, do we get to see everything that we thought we forgot during our time on this side of life? Is what is gone only temporary? One of the reasons death is scary to a lot of people is that it seems very lonely. You came into this world alone, but do we leave alone? Many people who have had near-death experiences explain that they saw a dead relative there to either escort them to the afterlife or tell them it wasn't their time yet. But whichever one it was, death was definitely not as lonely as we might think. Whether this was simply a figment of their imagination trying to reassure them and make them comfortable in their last few moments, or it was really the spirit or soul of their dead relatives, is something we'll never be able to say for sure. However, what we do know is that death for most people is not lonely, or at least does not feel that way.
Well, I've been clinically dead 3 times, but I've had 4 experiences, what you would call near-death experiences.
And what did you learn through these near-death experiences?
That to even conceive that you're going to die is an insane thought. No one dies. It will never happen. And after being a hospice volunteer for more than 45 years and being with more than 2,000 people going from this world to the next, I can tell you conclusively that you will never die. And when that comes into your thought pattern as a place of value, then you start to really look at who you are and what greatness you can achieve in your life when you are going to be you forever. Because think of how long forever just got if you're never going to die.
How sure are you of what you just said?
I'll say it again. After being dead more than 4 times, or struck by lightning and dead for 28 minutes, open heart surgery, brain surgery, open heart surgery. Those are near-death experiences except for the lightning strike. And then after open heart surgery, I had to be resuscitated 3 times. That's dead. No pulse, no respiration, no EKG. And after dying with thousands of people and studying death for now more than 45 years, unequivocally, without question, you will never die. And why? You are a great, powerful, and mighty spiritual being with dignity, direction, and purpose. So the only thing that can ever possibly go wrong in your life is you let something affect your dignity, which skews your direction and your purpose. And that's where every one of you are who thinks you're going to die. So get over it.
Get over it. Get over it. Hello, everybody. Maybe some of us surprised we weren't planning on going on this weekend, but we started to do last week with our beautiful brother Brad, and we were thinking about wanting to get this going again anyway. So we had some other beautiful friends show up, and we've been thinking a while anyways about doing some stuff about near-death experience, or at least I know Melvia is talking about that, especially after the dab thing. So we're going to have Jay Rosemary as well today. We got beautiful Sunny back with us, Atuned to You, Melzy K, and with a couple other special guests. I'll kind of wait, maybe let the friends kind of get settled in here, maybe introduce themselves, and maybe Jake and let Jay and everybody share. I don't know who wants to go next, but good to see y'all. Love. We're excited to be here. We're going to show you guys do what we do here for another day. So, and honor our brother, and we got some beautiful friends here with us today too. So I'm excited. Good to see y'all.
Yeah, good to see you all. I played that the first video came from The Resonance. I had a show a while back called The Resonance, and it was a show that I did called Beyond the Veil, Life Beyond the Veil. And so I have some different things, and Daniel Brinkley that we saw there before was someone that has given me a lot of comfort. When my dad passed away, he had a brain aneurysm, and he was kind of in like a body lock, so he couldn't communicate with me during that time. And I just wanted to know that he was in a safe place. And so I started researching a lot of near-death experiences to learn like where my dad had gone. And Daniel Brinkley was one of those. And his story is just really amazing. He has a little like a movie called Saved by the Light as well. And I think I dropped that. If you want to pull it up and show staging, there's a image of his Saved by the Light. And he also has a book too. And he's written other books, and his story is really amazing. He's actually friends with Juan.
This is Daniel Brinkley right here that we were just listening to. Daniel Brinkley, and then here's the book. So Mel, I said he's friends with Juan. I didn't know about that. So you want to keep going on that?
Yeah. And so he's very special. And part of his story too is that when he was beyond the veil, he saw these rooms they're kind of harmonic, I'd say healing rooms, maybe even med beds that were harmonic chambers. And so I'm really interested in learning more about that from him now. And one time I was doing an interview with Juan, and Juan talked about him, and he's actually set up interviews for him on with Nino and other places. So I'd love to talk to him. He gave me such comfort in his words back then after my dad had passed, and helped me in my journey. So that's how it goes. And so I'm excited to share this near-death experience after our brother Brad had passed. And so I don't know if all of you know that, but last week we had Brad on, and a few days later Brad passed over, and he I wanted to share this because I wanted to show people that there is hope, and this is what Brad believed in. And so we're going to celebrate this and really bring light into that they're in that dark time of our hearts sometimes when we are the ones suffering, but our loved ones have gone on, and give people hope. So I thought that we would talk about, I asked Jay if he would come on and share his story. I know it seems like he's having a little bit of trouble coming in and out, but and also he asked a friend too to come and share her story. So, and we asked Sony if she would join us because we love her strength and her wisdom and her insight spiritually, and in this time of healing that we're going to have. And then also, maybe an awakening, because for me, it was a time of loss, but then it was also a time of awakening because I started searching spiritually. And that's, I think, what Atuned to You is about. So thank you, Brad.
Well said, Melzy K. Thank you, Brad. Oh, we just got muted. Sometimes there's a shout out from Brad right there and muted us up. I say mute him up, so sometimes we'll see that if he connection holler at us. But we got muted up. So Brad, and if y'all were on last week, I'm kind of scrambling trying to get some photos or whichever folder it's in on Telegram. We'll bring up Brad and then honor our brother here too. And then Jay's out now too. But we got our beautiful friends. Well, actually, Sonny, go ahead and introduce yourself again and share anything from last week or Brad, and then we'll bring on our other friends too. But go ahead, Sonny, take the floor.
Well,
Anything?
hi guys. Yeah, just a lifetime of study and research, million questions. Why am I here? How did I get here? What's going on? And I have studied and accomplished credentials, if you will, as an associate spiritualist minister. And it's a series of 3 different certifications before you become ordained. And I simply became ordained as a mother 2 weeks earlier than anticipated and did not take my ordination test. But certified and registered in the United States and Canada as a spiritualist healer, clairvoyant, certified to teach spiritual development, and made it to the point of associate minister. I can do anything but marry, bury, and christen. So it was such an honor to start out these new beginnings for all of the world and the Patriot Society, especially in helping us understand where we're arriving now in the progressions of the world and the mission and what our fearless leader is out there doing for us on our behalf as to how we become the best parts of ourselves, how we roll with the changes and make quality use of our time here on earth. As we know, none of us are promised tomorrow. So what are we doing right here, right now, right? And I love that Brad started this new segment with us, and I'm very honored that I was here that day with him. And he introduced to us the galactic astrology and the depth that this astrology goes far deeper in today's world. And Brad brought us that, introduced us fearlessly to that, very, very knowledgeable in that area. And we're going to miss him and everything that he took with him. But he left us a lot to work with and to honor him in that. So, but the aspects and what his work did would teach you the different aspects and parts of yourself to expound upon and learn more about. And first and foremost, to go forth as he did, fearlessly, just absolutely fearless and beautiful. So I really appreciate you guys inviting me back to share today with you and Jay's story and his invited guest. And it's just an honor and a privilege to be here with you guys today. Thanks
Yes.
for
Thank
being
you,
with us too, Brad.
Sonny.
You know he's with us.
Absolutely,
totally.
absolutely. So there's beautiful Brad. Let me show you on our Hammer Time channel, guys, too. So main Rumble channel, wherever you're all watching from, X, Facebook, place like that. Make sure y'all follow our Rumble channel. Just search Hammer Time. It should usually pop up. Long one, Hammer Time, Rapid Fire Q News. We want to have all of our channels under there. It's got the Q military patch. But there's last week right there. Attuned to You. We just did that one 7 days ago. So I think Brad's ready. And y'all want to learn a little bit about Brad? And actually might be right here where he comes on. Let's see here.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Let's hop in one more time. Let Brad introduce an idea, getting our friends together. I'm really excited. So I don't know who wants to go next, but I jumped into this. So introduce everybody. I guess let's bring Brad on. Brad, go ahead and introduce yourself. We'll go around the horn.
I'm that Brad. I am of course part of the Q team. I've been a 12D seer, been a seer most of my life, but I just realized in the last 5 years I can see beyond dimensions. So they usually call me the crazy cloud guy because I'm always taking pictures of this clouds. But I also do galactic astrology, natal chart readings, dowsing, and I found out I was an empath along this journey when I connected with with the Q movement. Actually propelled me. Something was pulling me to the spiritual side of things. As soon as I got awakened to the Q side, the whole movement. I realized that was a catalyst to get me to where I was supposed to be in my life, and it kind of aligned me on my path to be able to be of service to the collective, and that's what I'm here. That's what I do, and now I found my passion in reading charts and empowering people to to help them be the best person that they can be. Because in this matrix that we were in, they inverted and changed so many things that we lost of sight of who we really were. We got disconnected from our core, from source, and all the knowledge that we learned, what we had learned already about ourselves, was erased and rewritten. So part of our journey here is to relearn things and remember these things of who we are, because a lot of the things that we're dealing with now is frequency, it's energy, it's a resonance. So I'm excited to be here, and thank you guys for having me on here.
Right on. Beautiful Brad. Beautiful Brad's like he's still right here with us, as he is. So there he is, beautiful soul, just last week. So we're continuing on. Like I said, it's empowering people. That's what this is about too. Attuned to you. We're going to talk about all the different topics, but it's really about finding your own inner core frequency, right? Your own resonance, attuning to yourself, because that's what all these lies is about. And programming is really keeping you away from your true self, your source self, your inner Christ being, or whatever, how you want to understand that. And that's what this is all about. Whatever you're understanding, we talk about all kinds of different topics. Some people woo woo, some topics might trigger people. Some people think that's not right. That's why we're all challenging each other. This is what it is. It's like when we share with each other, we're all this interconnected, beautiful web. And that's kind of what the frequency, the harmony is all about. But it's in our own uniqueness is what makes that web and this beautiful mosaic of who we are, and it's really special, but we've been so programmed to be away from ourselves. So that's what this is all about. And again, honoring Brad in that mission as well too. Very exciting. Jay, are you there, brother? He's been in and out on the connection a little bit, but he's looks like he's in there. So we'd love to see if we can hear Jay. Brother, you there?
Yes, very much so. This mic coming in clear?
Yeah, a little low on the volume. I'll turn it up on our end. Oh, and now we're echoing on my end or your end.
Yeah. Let me unplug in a bit and then let's do it again. But yeah, that was beautiful. How empowering is that? What a wonderful mind, heart, and a seer. It pays to be a seer sometimes, and we all have that gift. We'll delve on that, but it'll get it more quiet in a few minutes. You guys are rocking it. I did want to touch and ask. There's a psychedelics clip with Robert Kennedy. If you guys like to watch that one, I'll send it in a sec to show staging.
Okay, yeah. If you got a place to send it, that'd be cool. And then there's another person sharing their experience with the near death. So Jay's a little busy right now, but let's maybe check in also, since Jay's a little busy. We have our beautiful friends Jamie and Brian from I Am Rising. We got to have Brian on here one time on our Hammer Time channel. All the Q people loved it. We'd love to have him on more. Everyone's been super busy. He's always working hard, tirelessly. Him and his beautiful wife Jamie over there with the Q community, and does amazing, incredible work. So we can't shout them out enough. I wish there was an easier link to get them to, but we do it best. Jamie or Brian, y'all there? You guys there in the background?
We definitely are here, and I sent Brian the link, and he's going to actually turn the camera on here in a second. If you can just give us one moment. We had no idea. Like when I got on, I thought we were just watching. So he's gonna link in here in just a second. Thank you so much, also, you guys. And yes, I did have a near-death experience, 4th of July, 1987. I don't remember a lot, but I have a lot that I've woken up to since around 2020, that I can speak to. So thank you.
Wonderful. All right. Well, while you guys get settled in, we'll keep teaching the folks and bouncing off each other and talking about these topics. And again, love to have you guys here. And yeah, we'd love to, of course, see your face. But yeah, we surprised a lot of people this morning and stuff too. It's not easy to jump on, be live ever, but let alone if you want to try to, put your face on there too. But we love connecting with everyone, but your voices. And just what we do on Telegram. We're trying to help more of our people see the beautiful community we have. And this is what's inspiring and sparking things in each other too, when we all come together. And we've had different projects over time on kind of mostly on Telegram. So we're getting more of us out here for the world to see and sharing our gifts and stuff. And we're gonna have many other get-togethers too, to actual Anon meetups and stuff too, and have these beautiful events. So it's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah, so why don't we go to that the video that's in the show staging?
Is that the other
Marcia Sims?
Yeah, is that the one right below there? Okay, yeah. So here's another one. I've seen this one before. I think this is a good one. So Marcia Sims and Bernard Haish, I think it says. I'll just go to it. Play this little clip about their near-death experience, or hers, I believe. let's see, Marcia Sims and Bernard Haish. Haish, I think that's how you say that. Heaven is like a resting and review place. So let's check this out.
Because we do believe that we have more than one life. Heaven is really, to me, and you can add to this, Bernie, heaven is a place where we go between lives to be with God, to renew ourselves, to be with our spirit guides, to review our lives in the hall of the Akashic records, see how we did.
Notch us up a bit.
Yeah, notches us up a bit. And then we determine what it is we want to do our next life. And we have a lot of consultations with angelic beings, spiritual guides. And we choose what it is that we're going to experience in our next new life. And we make these decisions, but even when we are born into the physical world, we still have free will to change the course of our lives if we want to, but we do make plans. So heaven is, I think it's a really beautiful place to be, and we get to share experiences with other angelic beings and other souls that are like us. But it's in the traditional Christian sense where God is a desert patriarch sitting on a throne with a staff, and he's sitting on a bank of clouds, and angels are floating around him playing harps. I mean, I think there are angelic voices, and there's a lot of music on the other side, but it's not the way that I was taught when I was in Sunday school. But then, with regards to hell, hell is claimed to be an everlasting realm of torment reserved for humans who have committed grievous offenses against God, often referred to as mortal sins.
All right. So there's the rest of that one. And what's this? Oh, this is
Yeah, we can watch that.
This is him creating it. Let's hold off on that
okay,
just for a second.
Sounds good.
I had an idea. The tip of, right at the end of the be the cookie, not the crumble in our chat there. He's got to run. He's had 3 near-death experiences. Myself, 18 minutes, the longest one before I came back. So that'd be interesting to hear some more about that. That's not Sarge though, right? But that's one.
I think this is
what's
Jim.
your name? Who is it?
Jim.
Jim. Oh, that's right, Jim. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim, for sharing that as well. He's got to run. Thank you for the comments and
Yeah.
For helping answer some questions about Brad.
So, Jay, are you there? Yes, I don't know if he's ready or not.
I don't know if he's ready or
yeah,
not.
Still.
We have a little echo sometimes with Jay, but when you share, okay. As long as we mute too, and we just let you kind of share, but yeah, I guess a little bit of we'll do our best.
Yeah, guys, welcome everyone. So we're here honoring life, right? As we always should every morning or every night, depends on folks, or 5 times a day, whoever wants to do whatever, every Sunday, right? Whatever it is. Some people maybe getting out of the hospital one day, just like, oh, dang, I didn't know I had it like that, right? So what we have is very precious, sacred, you know what I mean? So all these folks touching on these subjects, it's very much beautiful. So let's touch on what she was about to touch on, if I may. So this isn't for everyone, right? We've all been, what's the word, Kyle, Melzy, Sonny, institutionalized. We've all been, so we'll break down these words or the sounds of these words, right? What is a prison? Okay. What is to be imprisoned? And then what is a prism? A crystal prism. You want to help with that, Sonny?
Yes. I'm having a difficult time hearing you, but yeah, it's some people call it something of a soul trap, if I'm hearing where you're going with that. We've been conditioned to perceive things as a particular way. It's like
My apologies. No,
follow
if
the
you wanted
leader.
to give them a breakdown of the prism, just the prism, the one with the M at the end.
He's talking about instead of prison, but prism, like when the light goes through a
It's just
prism.
very difficult to hear, Jay. So
Yeah, we
you
turn
want
up
to carry on with your thought there, Jay, please. and I'll try to
Oh
think.
no, just if anyone could, I was just calling you out, son. You know how we do on the chats. No,
Right.
how we bounce back. But my audio is better, hopefully. But so yeah, no. If anyone wants to give us a breakdown of the prism, you know what I mean? Crystal, prism. It's a good example is Pink Floyd, isn't it? They utilize that as their logo essentially, right? So there's a reason. All these things interlace, or so with being imprisoned or institutionalized, or once they set you to those standards, right? Or belief systems. Thank you, Michael, and other folks, or anyone that has toyed around with words, wordplay, right? Where's Geo when you need him, right? So you have belief system, or is it your BS? Is it bullshit? You know what I mean? We could play with that one. That one's for your amateur, anyone that's introducing themselves into this field theory, mindset, angel numbers, right? Sinks, whatever it is that you're like, oh, I'm noticing. So if you're noticing, you'll notice that, you know what I mean? So yeah, so with this stuff, another one that I wanted to dive into is we all Bukele said it best. He's talking about his generals, and he was there, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna investigate all you motherfuckers. None of us are gonna be here in 100 years. We're all mortal, right?" And you know how Bukele talks, that El Salvadoran president. Shout out to all those folks in the movement, right? So,
Touche.
man, Brad, bro, when he said about the Q stuff, bro, like, right, we're all Q now, right?
Q
So,
team.
the spark, what is the spark? Does anyone know that little segment where conception and the Tiffany blue light and all that stuff? I'll continue.
Yes, beautiful. And that's actually looked like that they did the Washington Monument, right? We were watching that from Renee's on Telegram. They're doing the light shows on the Washington Monument, and it's got the sperm going up to the tip and enters the eggs. That's Michael Brian Protzman. That's what Jay was alluding to. The circle, the egg, when the sperm enters it, and that's the spark of creation, which now modern day science is calling like a zinc thing or whatever. But that's literally like the moment of creation. The spark of life happens, life,
The
light, which is the
ignition
moment
point.
ignition point. I love that, which is Q. It makes a Q. So like we are literally are. I figure out how to make this with my hands on the screen, but at the moment of conception, we are Q, and that's the beautiful thing about this whole movement. Is it's so much deeper and more profound than you can even imagine. The other thing that kind of came to my mind, what Jay was saying, how we each have our own belief systems, is like what negative 48 was saying. That last one was like how's he say it? I'm gonna butcher it. Religion's gonna fly. Faith is religion's gonna die. Excuse me. Religion's gonna die. Faith is gonna fly. Pardon me,
Or
Mr. Pressman.
spirituality.
Yeah, and also in
Yeah.
your own way with your family, and that's what also interconnects us. Also, we have our own understanding, and it's just this beautiful thing how we come together. And the other thing I thought with the prism, which I don't know, Jay was, I think you wanted to go deep there. I'm trying. My mind's racing. Like, what are all the things with the prism? I was like, we got sacred geometry. Well, I guess Jay, go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, yo, no, play with it. We're all, I'm planting the seed. I'm going, just freestyling here, but in a sense to like bring it all full circle, right? Yes. So establish what is to be institutionalized at a religious aspect, at the 100-year aspect, 500-year aspect, thousand millennia, right? We don't know what it really is, and it's always been this, right? Imprisonment. This whole like, oh, you're going to hell. Am I really, motherfucker? We'll delve on that.
I like it. I mean, all these things, right? These systems that have contained us and enslaved us in different ways. It's a great question to just ask in general. I love that.
So no, correct. So with that said, guys, yes, I am Jay Rosemary. In 2017, I went through a situation, a physical attack, where it ended up where I was hot, um, was attacked and kind of bled out and made it to the, I guess, the stretcher. So barely made it to the doctor, the surgeon, to be patched up, and I coded 5 times. Okay, so on my Telegram I misspelled it. I was probably like voice attacks, and it sucks. So it's coded when that type of terminology within the hospital and all that stuff for the nurses and those who know, right? Basically, my heart was giving out, and it was 5 times and all that stuff. So thankful to surgeons and all that stuff. There's a bit of controversy, right? because surgeons will save your life. They are very good lifesavers, but not doctors, right? We could delve on that deeper later, right? They always keep you in the same cycle. They never cure. But so shout out to surgeons, shout out to folks that growing up they wanted to be in that system to help others, right? But then you have the whatever. Here we go, the institutionalization, right? Anyways, but yeah. So in 2017, experienced that. Um, God willing, I'm here. So with some situations, I know I'm jumping all over the place. It's a sensitive subject. I've left messages on my Telegram channel. Anyone's welcome to follow the new one. The other one was Chloe Loves You, and it was just a little bit of a wordplay with Kloey. It's my friends called me that, and so Chloe. So it was that. So Chloe Loves You was the original channel. Now it's Tacky on Chloe. Same thing, right? But so anyways, I've left messages that I'm now forwarding to the new channel. Right, you know what I mean? This subject is sensitive. We're a little fast paced right now because I'm settling in and trying to, do my thing, and I'll be available more within the next 10 minutes. Um, so we need to slow down, right? This is a sensitive subject. Right now, we're just laying things out, watching the certain videos and things, right? But it's a sensitive subject. We'll delve in it slower. So on these recordings, I've been slow about it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jay, for sure. I mean, sensitive in so many different ways. My mind's racing. We got Brian and Jamie on there. Thanks, guys, for coming on there and on short notice as well too. There they are, looking all beautiful. How you doing, guys? Good to see some of y'all. They're always working so hard. We're doing Q schools every freaking day. We don't hardly get to see all the amazing stuff they've been doing, and vice versa. But I just can feel it, and we're still connected in all of our communities. But I'm always excited to be able to get a chance to watch these guys and listen to what they do. Man, they're really special. So welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
We appreciate you guys so much, and we're happy to be here. It really is impromptu. I mean, 20 minutes before I got the message from Jay. So we're just happy to be here and learn and see everybody. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't mind trying to stream this from onto my Telegram channel.
Okay, I think we can just flip that over. I'll probably maybe just switch my Rumble off. I wonder how this works.
if they
Restream.
add as a
Let's give it a
guest,
shot.
can they do it?
Oh yeah, actually, can you maybe just log in from your? Does it let you do it on your end?
I think if you add on your side.
Let me just turn my Rumble off though.
Walk me through it, Mel. What would I do inside of Telegram?
Actually, let's try it and see it here. So when you go into Telegram, you need to. It's like start with.
Yeah, there's like a secondary thing where it's like you want to start with, and then it's kind of like for a live stream.
Sorry to interrupt, guys.
No, it's okay. It's all good. This is like we're real people. Real people read news. We've been winging it. We keep it real with everyone. We're all over the place. Everyone's got us. We all have each other's backs, so it's a beautiful thing. So we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. There's yeah, I was trying to think because there'll be like a secondary button when you click it. It's like because you want to set it up for like a live stream, and then sometimes on like some Telegrams it's there, sometimes it's not. I don't know if you're on the web. I think it's easier when you're on the app, but sometimes
I will be on my phone. That's what I'm going to do is just use my phone for that.
Yeah.
And play with the internet here.
It's what we do with videos, Slack.
Yeah, so go to start, like you're gonna start a video chat or a voice, but there should be a button where it says like stream with or start video chat with, something like that.
Stream with. I have to look for it. Just give me a second. And
yeah, she'll get the direction, but sometimes you don't. The button's not there too, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, right. I didn't see that option.
You're not seeing a button. Yeah, sometimes I've seen. Let me see what it looks like on my phone.
Okay, here.
Oh, if you have the instructions, forward it to the staging.
I can't find the instructions. When you go to the buttons that looks like you're going to start, instead of going start a live stream, schedule live stream, and stream with, you have to hit the stream with.
But sometimes those buttons aren't even there. Are you even seeing any of those? Like you want to.
Hold on. I heard it. Let me try that.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
This is all good. This is good. People can find out, like if you're on Telegram channels out there too. I mean, this is our tight knit family, anyways. We were expected to be off all weekend, so it's all good. we're doing it.
I had all kinds of fun and merriment getting in here too, guys. So No
Yeah,
problem.
for sure. And I mean, the more we can get you guys hooked up, the better, the happier I am, because I've wanted to have you guys on for so long. And again, maybe in the future you could maybe have something before Q school. I would love that, because then like, anyways, so something to think about in the future for sure.
Well,
Or
while he's doing that, it's so impromptu, but I would love, like once we go over some things today, and as far as near death experiences, how once you come back, there's a plasma language that I know about,
okay,
and I have a couple things that I can read that kind of explain it. So if you guys remind me later,
okay.
I just
Interesting about oh, sorry, I stepped on you. Say that last part.
I just didn't want to forget. I just wanted to
Oh,
say
okay.
it.
Yes, thank you for sparking that, because plasma stuff too really interesting with plasmic. Oh, we got to talk about the alignment too today. There's again, the Earth is perfectly aligned with where Jupiter is supposed to be, so that's an interesting topic to talk about. But the plasma thing I want to add, everybody talks about light language or transferring to light beings. A lot in this community probably familiar with that, but you actually have to become plasma first, and this also connects to our waters. Though you have to be hydrated. So I'm reconnecting with some of my water tribe family type people, so it's really important to stay hydrated, know what type of water you're drinking. If you can always bless your water, but drink living water. All our pipe systems usually are like dead, making 90-degree angles where like in nature it tumbles down, gets the nutrients. Anyways, drink proper water, stay hydrated. That's also a part of this whole ascension process, is taking care of this beautiful divine vessel we have as well too, that'll assist you in that process. So thanks for sparking that in me right there, Jimmy, for sharing that, and we'll try to remember about what you're sharing. I'm very interested, because I'm familiar with light language, but I've never heard of plasma language too. So that'll be interesting.
Well, it does. We'll get into it, but it does have to do with the elements, and how it's basically what we're doing. The blueprint of plasma language helps so that the physical and the soul, so the non-physical and physical can merge, and you can um, you can experience it real time. And I'll give examples of how my brother, who passed away in 2016, was actually communicating with me, since and that was partly as far as plasma language and what it's defined as. So yeah, we'll get into it, but
Okay.
yeah, it's all really profound stuff.
It is, and like Jay's saying, since we're on like literally high energetic topics too. So I know some of us too, and like we were kind of unexpectedly going to do this, but there's definitely an energy and frequency here. So everyone's kind of like settling in, and I think we've experienced that with different times, especially when you have like high vibrational people coming together. But it is a very sensitive topic. Again, humanity's been exploring for years. Oh, something Jay was saying earlier, like the most suppressed topic in our history is our human history and stuff. It's kept from us. Like how long have we been fucking lied to? You know what I mean? Let's go off that. Now I want to check in with Brian if we can help him, or you figuring anything out, brother, on the back end?
Yeah, well, I have two links here that Melcy's probably waiting for me. I don't know where to share them.
Okay. Yeah, we want the stream key, or what is it, Mel?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off my Rumble.
I don't know that we can do it once we're live.
No, I think it'll work. I think it might. Oh, I think this works. No, we can, because we can always start it as long as when he starts it, and he's got the key for us, so it should be fine. So I'm gonna turn off my Rumble, and then we have his rising here. I think we can just switch it on.
Try
it. Or just add it, or let's see, edit. Let's see, RMTP stream key. We put the new stream key in. I think it might be the same though.
It should be the same. He just needs to then start.
Okay, so maybe we just click them over. It might work. Hold on. If it's the same stream key, let's just flip them over. We had your channel actually in here, brother. So let's see if this pops up. I'm gonna flip it over.
Do I need to start a live?
Does he hit it first, or do I
hold on a second?
Okay,
Let him start it first, because it needs to find the stream.
Okay.
So hit it.
Hold on, sending data. So it probably
just give it a second.
Okay, I'm started.
No, it says streaming now. Yeah, so go ahead. I think you can do it.
Try it. Start with.
The next one that's gonna help me is pretend I'm on Telegram, guys. I'm gonna pretend I'm on Telegram, okay? And then I'm gonna flow. Welcome, guys. What's up, Brian?
I don't know. Technical difficulties. It's now. It is.
What's it showing?
Okay, I've started one now, and I've already hit start streaming. So
Okay.
let's see. Maybe you can flip it over. Okay, that did it. All right.
It's going in your
I'm
account.
started one now, and I've already hit start streaming. So let's see. Maybe you can
So
flip
now
it over.
pause your Telegram or mute your Telegram. Just
All
mute
right.
it. Cool.
Hold on.
It just
So
took
let's
a
see.
minute.
Maybe you can flip it over.
So that's okay. It's coming in on his Telegram now, so it's a little bit behind. So just make sure your Telegrams are muted or you hop out of there, and then it should be broadcast in there for your people to see. Oop.
Okay.
I'm just getting something.
Cool. So we in there? I think it's
Yeah, I think we're good, sir.
cool. Yeah, streaming on our end, so it shows. All right. So anybody out in the I Am Rising family, welcome.
Family,
And then-
thank you so much for that patience. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's all good. And now, I mean, we forgot we actually even had it in there, so it should be pretty easy to do that. We'll flip it over, and it's good to go. So we can get you on here more often. Get your people in here too. Right on.
All right.
Okay.
So, I guess I guess I'd call it a near-death experience, although I didn't I didn't die, but I had a horse riding accident, and I had a compound fracture. And so I was put under, and during that time, I went into like a place it felt like the clouds, and that there was timelessness there. And it was like a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I met who I believe was Jesus. I mean, I didn't see his face, but I just sat in his lap, and I felt like I had all the time in the world to sit there, and I didn't have to, like, he wasn't like, okay, it's time to go, Melzy, you got to get back, I had like this healing time that felt like in spacelessness and in the void. So I don't know how it ended. It was just time that I spent there. And then when I came back, I had this love, because that's what I felt around me. And I was like telling the nurses, I was coming out of the anesthesia, and I was like, oh, you're so beautiful, thank you. And I kept thanking them. And but it was a really profound experience for me. And there were some other things too that happened, and it was comforting too, to know that that I had, I don't know, that there was something more for me. So that's kind of also my interest too, of why I wanted to share this, because I do believe that there is a time, that our time here is precious, right? And that there is something else beyond this time, whether or not we're in some type of entrapment here, which possibly we are, some type of a dimensional experience we're certainly having. But I think that our soul has eternity, and that we are eternal beings. And none of us necessarily know unless we've crossed over that veil and had that ability to come back. So I'm always intrigued by people that have had that. And I think that it gives us hope too, for when we do lose loved ones. And we just want to touch real briefly. Some people, it's a shock to them. They didn't know that Brad passed. And so we just want to, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, to touch on it, kind of goes, we're going a little bit back
Yeah.
and forth on some things. So, I mean, it was asking too, we talk about surgeons and that whole thing and the concepts. And so there's some interesting things that happened for sure in the hospital situation. Honestly, I'm only hearing it from another person, and that person can get very emotionally invested in the situation. I will say that I do believe there's possibly people out there too, channeling loose energy and stuff too, to get us upset in different ways. That's very real, and people here will understand that, because I had a very other near and dear friend that seems to be having a similar experience of where they seem desperate, to be honest with me, if we're considering this really the spiritual galactic battle, whatever you want to call it, the light and darkness. It seems almost desperate. They've been real strange on some things. So Brad, again, I don't really know well enough. I don't want to speak on things too soon, but there's certainly a situation in the hospital was doing something very, very strange. And then on the other concept, though, we came here and already agreed to this, and he's like clearly teaching us from the other side. I mean, we get that, we do this recording, and he's like, he says he's on Q team. He doesn't say like, he didn't say Q school team, or he said Q team, and we've shown that with our connections and all the other things we've done in the community, and and like he's here with us, so he chose in some level, but yeah, on the other level, it's like that 3D world of having to go to the hospitals, and but he did have congenital heart failure, or maybe I'm not even saying it right.
He had a
certainly
heart
health issues.
condition, and he was 2 years ago. He was very near death, and Kat came in and saved his life by bringing him to, and other people did too, in our community donated to help Brad get to Kat, and would help him during this journey. So it's hard to go through this, but we want to celebrate his life because he gave us so much, and he is still there. I believe that he contacted the dimensions beyond in many different ways, and believed in that just as I do. And so I believe that he's right here with us still, directing us, and he was launching us into even this question, right? We wouldn't be talking about this today unless he had passed. And of course that's hard for us to not have him there.
Yes, and to add to that, Melzy, I think much of what we are doing today is to comfort each other. This is still ongoing celebration of Brad's life and the multiple gifts that he gave. And last Saturday, when he started this segment with the Q team, with all of us here, he started this, and he saw something, and that we've got to keep going, and we're going to do the best we can to elaborate and expound on what he started with us. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't, right?
Yeah,
And
I got.
but it's enough that we are still potentially mourning his loss, if you will, and celebrating his life and the gifts and blessings that he brought us and introduced us to, and sharing also, as we said earlier on, like Jamie, her near death experience, Jay and his near death experience, um, getting to the other side or catching a glimpse of the other side and being able to come back and to be blessed. Like Melzy just said, an experience of an invitation or the opportunity to understand that there is more to this life than meets the eye, and we get this opportunity to come back and put that new information to best use in the rest of our days. And I think suffice it to say, with everything that Brad knew, and regardless of the conditions of the human experience and the body vehicle, I think he just saw the other side, caught a wave, and pretty irresistible to finally get to go home and be
Yeah.
in the midst of everything he shared with us. It's just, he just
Sunny, I
decided to
was
stay.
yes indeed. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got.
Yes, Jay, now.
Nice. Yeah, I'm settled in. I'm ready to rock. Let's rock. Thank you guys for being patient. Yeah, I told my friend before, you know what I mean? They, we can
Jay
be
said,
fussy in life, right? Because go ahead.
never mind. If you're rock and roll, I'm gonna let you rip. I had a little short video of like when some of the stuff Brad was doing. But if you're ready to go, let's
Oh
roll.
no, dude, rip your video. I'm just
Okay,
laying a
just to
little bit.
kind of clear it
I
out
was gonna
too. Yeah,
say,
so let's
just
okay.
this tidbit
So this
with
one.
what's bouncing off Sunny. I'm gonna tell you guys, death is fun. The other side is fun. It's not fun to die because we're afraid. So let's face those fears. What that this segment started with was with that guy saying, "We are immortal, we are infinite," and this is true. It's only the fear, the restriction, the idea of pain, right? What is pain? I think we're going through it collectively. What is near-death experience? I think we're going through it collectively, according to Quantum Savant and certain folks that have spoken on those parameters, right? So a near-death experience is 180. What is to do a 180? You talked angles, so we're talking angels. Right? What did Brad do with his photographs? He angled them. He angeled them. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go. Let me just show some of this work he does, guys. As this y'all don't understand him, and other people have. It's interesting our collective consciousness, because I had another friend that was just sharing these type of things, and it was actually the other day. I'm like, "Were you doing this because of Brad?" And she's been a friend on Instagram for a while. We don't know each other so personally. I mean, we know each other through the movement, and then they're in UK. Anyways, they posted these photos their own, and I was like, did you learn that from Brad? And they said they had learned it on their own. So it's kind of cool that our collective consciousness comes around. And then I shared that, he's really the one that started this kind of. I mean, again, maybe somebody could say they did this years back, but he's now more and more people are doing this, but he's really spread that. I mean, he had like 30,000 plus on TikTok. So I shared one of his videos on my social. So we'll share this one for a second. And this is the kind of things he's talking about. So listen to his message here too. And then we have another 2-minute video I saw posted over on Cats. I just saw him, so I was maybe going to play that, but we'll check in after this one, and maybe we'll do one more, and then we'll let Jay share his story with us. Thanks, guys.
The souls that have the eyes to see, ascension is happening now. It's time to see the divine crew behind the curtain. 945.
Something shifting deep. The air feels different somehow. Can't fucking sleep. We're breaking through. Breaking through. Nothing's gonna be the same. Breaking through. This is our moment to claim. Breaking through. Beyond what we used to see. We're breaking through. Finally we're breaking free. I see them in the distance. Shapes that shouldn't be. Reality's resistance is cracking finally. We're breaking through. Breaking through. Nothing's gonna be the same. We're breaking through. This is our moment to claim. Breaking through. Beyond what we used to see. We're breaking through. Finally we're breaking free.
Oh yeah, that was Brad. One of his work there too. I actually want to go back to one of those to show you kind of how that works. Let me just do that without the music here for a second. This is, and then it's a little small on the Instagram thing. I think it'd be that way either way. Let me get to the next one. But he usually will mirror the things. Not always. I think this one's unmirrored. So this one would be one of the mirrored ones. But you'll see different faces and shapes, but then there'll be even a bigger one that encompasses all the other ones. And essentially what that is all the interconnectedness of everything, right? And some people might be fearful of some of these things, but he says that you can always ask this type of thing, something we've never really talked about, but you can ask, if something is serving the light in the divine plan. Ask 3 times, they got to tell you. But also you can, the light is shining on everything, and the more interconnected your compass too, you can understand frequency and what's good and what's not for you as well. Anyways, it's the interconnectedness, the whole thing, and it's beautiful. And you'll see these different faces from all this, but smaller, and then up, and almost like a totem pole in a way, and then they're all interconnected. So anyways, pretty cool stuff. And then I got one more little 2-minute video that was on Cats.
Go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to add one thing because, a lot of us Anons have seen so much in the clouds, right? Like I've had Z's in the clouds, like 2 of them. I've had a cursive Q in the cloud. With everything that's going on in Greenland, and think about the North and what the technologies possibly could be there, what Brad is showing there and what we're experiencing, especially a lot of us who've had the near death experience, and we all have this in common. A lot of Anons do. Um, if you think about what they're doing, they're putting it into our atmosphere. They're showing us in an angelic way, and we're documenting it. We're archiving it. We're sharing our pictures, and it's going to be proof. Future proof past, as far as even us archiving it in Dad Brad in such a tremendous way, with the mirror images. But it brings it to life, and there's nothing to fear, because when you look at it in that cloud-like form, even if it is a not so nice image, it becomes doable as far as observing it, right? Like it's not scary because it is in that cloud form. It isn't in a physical form that can harm us as far as our senses that we know, as humans are concerned. So I just wanted to add that he is absolutely phenomenal. So, just in awe of all his work. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's all the great thing too, is to not have judgment, right? This shape is scary, whatever. There was one that kind of looked like was a snake inside of it, and so many people think, oh, snake, reptilian, bad, but it's like there's divinity in everyone, just like there's good and bad humans, there's good and bad other different kinds. If you believe in all that, it's really this divine interalignment. Good to see you, Jay, brother. How you doing? Got the Donald Trump on the
Pretty good,
wings
but
there.
I just came on the screen so you guys know that I'm real. Everything's real. Look at me walking today. Say hello to my little friend.
Nice.
Yeah, Jay's finally feeling better too. I know a lot in our community were sick and stuff and
Man,
battling
we went
stuff.
through it,
So
right, Brian?
that's all you guys.
Man, this cold, 17 days just about. I mean, it's still, lingering. I think you're contagious. Science has it 2 weeks after, supposedly. We'll see.
Science.
So I wanted to just show my face to say hi, and then we're back. So thanks, guys. Yeah, hey, you brought up something earlier. Um, both of you guys did, and I don't know, did you guys hear the audio on Brian? It echoed a few times, maybe 3 times, right? So I wrote down the echoes of life, right? Anyone that has delved into psychedelics, that has delved into LSD, right? The fractals of life, right? And so what was Brad doing? He merely halved an image, you know what I mean? Mirrored it merely. And then there's the breakdown that goes into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, multiple, dimensions or breakdowns of a fractal. Now, if I may, some images look scary, Brad. Some images look scary, Jay. Hey, Kyle, some images look. That's to each their own. What's that? That test when they give you the ink blot test.
Rorschach.
Rorschach test. Thank you. Right. It's what do you see? Some people see a hummingbird. Some people see a butterfly. Some people see a pelvis bone or something. You know what I mean? So to each their own on that thing. So I wrote down. We can get into it later. Zeros and ones. Okay. What is the quantum? Okay. Quantum computer. Okay. D-wave computer. Singularity. Oh, Elon posted about singularity. I wonder why. Okay, zeros and ones, angels and demons. Go ahead, guys.
Nice one, Jay. He's always flowing. Then he throws it back. Fades out. It's like Kobe, right? You're Kobe LA guy, right? Fading away.
Well, today is zeros and
Oh,
ones.
we gotta show that alignment.
Let's do that. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, today is zeros and ones.
Yeah, anything to add that.
It's 3:09.
Actually, I got there's one more little clip that was most recently posted about from Brad's the 2-minute. Brad sharing a video. I think somebody asked him a question, and then he just recently. So I don't even know what it's about. It's gonna be Divine Orchestrated. Play that for 2 minutes. We'll get up the little thing about the celestial alignment, and then see what anybody else wants to add, and then we'll be right back. So where'd Brad go? Right here.
So I was just up this morning and was asking because I had some questions that came to me and I wanted to know from the different beings here. I have my rods, and 1 second. Okay. So we can ask some questions.
Pause in just a second. Sometimes Telegram, when it plays to the Telegram, it's a little buggy. Like it's getting caught up now. Sorry, guys. Should be good.
Are there motherships on the moon? Yes. What we perceive as motherships? Thank you. Are they in the moon? Yes. So there are motherships in the moon. Is that video that Debbie sent me a real video of a mothership? Yes. Yes, it is. So that video you did send me is a real video. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, it's a little early for me, so I look kind of crazy, but
I don't know if he knows this. You guys know the coughing. There's sometimes when you're actually doing energetic work, sometimes you'll literally cough because you're transmitting the energy or it's going through you. I'm maybe not explaining that very well. Maybe Sonny can share that later. But let's go back to Brad here.
Are the aliens we're looking for, that humanity's looking for, are they already here? Yes. Thank you. So they already are here. Are most of them angels? Yes. So there are beings here right now, and then there's also, from what I'm getting, flesh and blood beings walking amongst us that aren't necessarily angels. They're not angels. Are these beings that are flesh and blood? Are they fallen? Yes. Yeah. We wouldn't consider them angels anymore that are amongst us. Crazy, right? So that video is kind of accurate. The angels are telling me. There is holes in the moon where ships can go inside of it like that? Yes. Yes. And it can go inside and do that. That video is very accurate. So hope that helps.
All right, interesting. I love it when we roll with on the fly. It made me think of something else too when I think Jamie was sharing about the energy coming through, because I was, Brian Protzman, -48 was the first in the community, was saying there was good sprays going out there and being hydroxychloroquine. I remember when I first was here and I was like, come on. I'm like, really? But then over time, I've come around to this for sure. And I don't know if it's necessarily still hydroxychloroquine or what, but clearly even like, because we're also grid workers here, we had a lot of talk about grid workers last week. If y'all here with us, you're grid workers more than likely, we talked about that star seed, some of those general concepts last week. Y'all want to check that out if you get a chance. But we're doing important grid work and stuff too. And I've seen those sprays like cleansing, and I could just intuitively download that they are cleansing the air. And I've got some really cool shots with the camera and also too. Many of us probably have some really cool light codes and clouds. And I kind of always just thought it was the lens flare in the camera, but I recently came across like some information saying it's not actually just like a flare from the lens. It's truly like spiritual beings and stuff, because mine have like some really interesting stuff. And then I caught some on my camera on some of these powerful ley lines when the mist was coming through, and then the sun. It was almost like a split in like dimensions or reality. It was really wild, and I was like, whoa. And I could just tell it was like cleansing off. So that kind of made me remember that. Not to go into this too much, this topic, but a big SSP secret space program stuff is really important to me. I know there's big debate in the community. What's the shape of this and that, and interdimensional, toroidal field, flat and round, or this and that and the other. I think I always enjoy these discussions. I'm kind of hardline on some of it, because I'm like, wait, I've never seen an information that makes me feel this way about a certain thing. But there's people, if you follow that line, and actually Brad was part of that community. James Rink has passed away recently. There's been a whole group of the community, like the SSP community. That's something that's kind of near and dear to me, but I don't speak about so much. It's profound and stuff, so it's kind of interesting to read that out. But that's pretty common. There's actually like volcano tubes and stuff, or like the hollow volcano old volcanoes is really great place to have infrastructure inside of different planets or what have you. And just like even on Earth, like if we go into old volcano tubes, these ancient civilizations have already cleared these out, and this is very common. So it's interesting what he was doing with the dowsing rods there. And again, even the moon itself is a crazy concept. Is it plasmic? Were we there? What's the deal? So I always love these discussions. I think it helps everyone just having those discussions. You're already on that higher level of thought where we're going this ascension and trying to figure this all out together. And I just love it all.
Yeah. Well, let's maybe pull up Jamie and would you be willing to share your near-death experience with us?
Yes. I mean, as far as what I can remember, right? So I was 14 years old. It was 4th of July in 1987. I was up near or in Wellston, Michigan, at my grandfather. It was actually for his birthday. And I want to make note of this because we have the, tippy top shape and things like that. There is really close to where my accident happened. There's a Tippy Dam River. Okay, I just want to be clear about that. So what happened is I was 14 years old, and my younger brother Ben and myself got on a four-wheeler, and then my cousin Gabe and my younger brother Adam, who passed away in 2016, who I know speaks to me through the plasma language, was on the other one. And apparently I don't remember anything. Okay. I want to be clear. I don't remember anything. Everything I'm telling you, as far as right now, is based on what my family has told me, and what's in my file as far as from the hospital, or what they gave my parents, I should say. And what happened is I guess I didn't have a helmet on either, you guys. There's gravel roads up North Michigan. Okay. There's gravel roads and then there's ditches along the side. And I was driving, I guess the four-wheeler we were playing chase, and my cousin was behind me, and I looked back, I guess, according to my brothers, to where they were. And I was going too fast. So I went into the ditch and rolled into the woods, on the four-wheeler. And my younger brother, Ben, flew into the ditch, like several feet, probably yards. I don't know. But, and he broke his arm. And I guess I landed between two trees that were like growing between each other, and there was a metal object. I guess when they're deer hunting and stuff, they climb up it. I guess that when I fell between the tree, that ripped open my leg. But long story short, they called a life flight, so a helicopter. It had started. The life flight from Traverse City Munson Hospital had started less than a year before my accident. So if that wasn't in play, I would not be here. So I think it's real important, that we speak about this.
Tell them the date.
Okay, and it was the 4th of July, 1987. Okay, so and again, when we talk about secret space program and meanings and the holidays and what sometimes happens on these holidays, I just want to make note there. So basically, in my file, it does state that I was flatlined, and I don't have memorization of, because I don't have the file anymore. But I was flatlined on the helicopter, and they brought me back. I had a subdural hematoma, basal skull fracture, and a subdural hematoma is blood around the brain. And the right side of, underneath this whole side of my skull, they had to shave and go in and do surgery. The bones in my ears broke. Half my face was paralyzed when I came out of a coma. My ribs on my right side broke inwards. I had to have internal bleeding surgery, and my leg was split open very far. I was in a coma for a while. I don't have the exact dates of that either. I want to say this if I don't get off track too much. Not less than 2 years ago, I did file for Freedom of Information Act to retrieve not only all my medical my medical information, but tied to my accident, but also to what's called the Zucker Group study, which is a longitudinal study that started when I was 6 years old. It started when I was 6 years old, and I lived a mile away from Michigan State University, but Dr. Robert Zucker was from University of Michigan. Okay, and it's important to know this because these I don't want to get off track, but all these people who are in my life, whether I remember it or not, because you guys, I don't remember 90% of my childhood before the age of 14 years old. Okay, so but the people that are connected as far as the study and why I did the Freedom of Information Act inquiry is because Dr. Robert Zucker, and I wound up working for Victoria's Secret, Leslie Wexler. Okay, I worked for the company for 17 years. So Dr. Robert Zucker, Leslie Wexner, and
It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. But there is something to be said about what transpired. Speaking to Super Soldier Program and things like that. I'm just not ready to completely, disclose information yet, and yet am I to receive my file. I do have a contact, and I do have information, about, some said groups being, shut down and things like that. And I do have my own investigative discovery, going to websites at University of Michigan and seeing how this was back in 2021, seeing how there weren't posts, current posts. And you saw Dr. Robert Zucker's face, and now when you go, his face isn't even up there. It's just a random label.
All their program sites and all that's been taken down, so it's good to see that, basically. But
so anyways, as far as what I mean, like I said, I don't remember a lot. My whole family had to go to therapy because my youngest brother, Adam, who passed away in 2016, was left in the woods with me while my cousin went to get my parents, which it was probably a mile or two, down the road where the accident had, where all the adults were. And you guys, I had blood coming out of my mouth, my nose, my ears. I was going into, convulsions, seizures. It took my older brother and I guess a couple of family members like hold me down. It's kind of like a dog that tries to get up and run, and then they go into shock before the helicopter actually landed. Yeah. I guess
that's
we'll
I think that's good because actually I mean we've covered the near death thing quite a bit, but I was kind of more interested in that topic. And even like I said, I guess I even started saying SSP more Super Soldier Program because again it triggers some people in different ways. Like even the comments right away, oh, we're under a dome and the moon is local. Well, if we're local and the sun's local, how come the sun doesn't affect the tides? And if it's under a dome, how come there's not refraction off the back light of the sun? There's all these things that just aren't answered. And how do we have a lunar eclipse and 2 weeks later a solar eclipse? How do they always follow each other? Those don't make sense in certain models. So, you know what I mean? But I love the topic. But SSP,
if I may, there's an aspect of her experience that I think over time we've sort of deduced that if there was ever a moment for like a starseed walk-in scenario, that would have been the moment. And
Dude.
like, the galactic white hats, however that time frame works, right? Whatever timeline that might be, it's a different one than here, right? But however that works, that moment for her, we have evidence of a name like the little Dutch girl was a young character, persona, version of Jamie in some instance, and she was struggling. And so maybe there's like a fractured soul, or some sort of program uh,
No.
damage, or I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know how to word that.
Well, they're on
Go
so
back
many
to her
topics.
history.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, I'd like to actually
Well,
speak if I could
and
too.
Melzy, and we have a friend, and we've been talking about this because the walk-in thing, because I was already thinking the walk-in, so we're already like getting intuitively synced. But I know Mel's been wanting to share, so let Mel go.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going on a lot of different topics, and the I feel your story is very aligned to mine too, in a lot of different ways. I have questions too in time where I don't remember. And a lot of people don't know this, but I lived in Venezuela in my early 20s. And my best friend married an ambassador's son from Venezuela. So I moved to Venezuela, and I had access to what Kyle calls the greedy psychopaths.
Well, some say elite, the elite circles,
Right.
these
The
rich assholes,
the rich assholes,
wealthy, power.
And there's a lot of different other things too that are there that are just big questions. And when I was in Venezuela, I saw a UFO. I saw the mothership off the coast of Venezuela, and so there were things that changed my life there. And then they opened up questions for me that some I have answered and some I don't. But that's really what got me thinking. And I don't. Like, I started studying my bloodline too, and I'm from Wisconsin, upper Wisconsin. So I've studied the programming, the programs that they had going on in that area. Like in my area, I know that they had MK Ultra programs going on. And so there's no
What area in Wisconsin?
Eau Claire. Are you familiar with Eau Claire?
Do you know how far Appleton is from there?
Yeah, it's about 90 miles from Appleton. That's
pretty close.
East of Appleton.
Okay, because I have a linking story to that when you're done.
Yeah, so they had different areas, and I think Dr. Green from Dr. Mengele came over and had a lot of programming within that area. Was it
Montauk up in Canada too, and
Madeline
New York
Islands? Was it Mackinac?
Oh, Mackinac. Yeah, I always wanted to
and so anyways, those are deep topics, and part of my awakening happened in Venezuela for me. When I saw the UFO, I also have missing time there. And so that's been difficult, like it took me a while for me to even talk about that with people, a long time, like years. And then when once a person suggested that, maybe I was abducted, I became angry about it. Like, how dare they ask that question?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, why did I have an emotional response like that to a question? They're just asking a question. So there's other things too that are there for me that I then go in the SSP program. I know other people have questioned that, like, are you part of that? And I'm like, I get angry, like, no. And so I think that's a part of maybe a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
MKs don't know that they're MKs most of the time. And it takes like an injury sometimes for them to realize that they were MK'd, because then the programming for some reason doesn't take. And that's what you see in like Bryce Taylor and Kathy O'Brien's stories.
Corey Good, same thing. He had the eye surgery. He had the eye surgery, and they said it's something you have from being an astronaut. For your eye surgery, and then his memories came back. But that's a huge topic of having even like a whole lifetime. I guess we haven't gotten this topic yet, but we're in the 20 and back program, right? Like age regressing and putting you back in time. And Again, I think I had the coping mechanism myself with that topic. I always like steered away from. I knew it. I could like knew it in my heart, and because I was learning about those topics, even just being interested in it, you're more than likely involved. But my former partner at the time, it was like all the things like empath, German blood, like all these things, and those don't have to be, but those are very common parameters, right? Or you have family that's in high level government programs or big corporations of some kind, and missing time. And Corey Good talks about the visiting at the younger age, the My Lab program. So if any of y'all are familiar with this, or if you haven't, if this is sparking things you guys are questioning, keep coming back. We'll try to help you understand it. I ran from it, and I knew it was like true. And then I got a double confirmation, like basically 2 days back to back of those things. And it's like, it's kind of like, whoa, because I've always like, man, that means there's all this crazy trauma and all this stuff. And, obviously maybe that's part of why we forgot some of it too. And that's the whole thing. But I would like to kind of circle back. I know Sunny hasn't said anything for a while, but I want to go back to Jamie and like the walk-in thing too, because I was thinking that also, and Mel knows a little bit better, but a friend of ours through the community, Orion, talks about it openly. Like he knows that he came in. So I'd like to talk about that too, but I'm going to send it back to you guys for a second since I've been blabbing. Anybody want to share on that? Sunny, did you have anything? And then I know Jamie, she's probably excited to talk. And then, but we want to talk about this experience with our walk-in. Yeah, Jay's in the background too, if you want to share, brother, too.
Well, several thoughts came to mind when Jamie was explaining said something about the little Dutch girl persona that comes through. There's several different things that could be, a few anyway, that we all have what we call spirit guides, and we have a child. We have a child persona that walks with us and keeps us in check with our inner child and with our innocence, so that when we're making our plans, choices, and decisions, our little spirit guide, our child, will influence us in that way or keep us grounded, so to speak, with the innocence of a child while we're having this experience. And there is a thing that says some of those are, just little spirits that are out there that are here to lead you, guide you, special angels that have been assigned to you, if you will, and or they were you in another life. And so that's whatever you were, maybe that little Dutch girl in another life, is that aspect of yourself. And we speak of the astrological aspects when we were speaking with Brett. That aspect of yourself that remembers you then, that helps guide you. Our beings and our brains are so phenomenal. When we're faced with different things, we go deep within ourselves and deep within our minds to survive and or more amply endure whatever it is we're going through at the time. It's very hard to describe unless you've been pressed like that, unless you have been in those life or death or near death experiences, as to the depth of your person that you go to be there and here at the same time. I guess it's very difficult to describe, but the idea that, the MK Ultras, I'm understanding as much of it as I do, where they will impose personalities on people, embed those things into people. That's one aspect of it. And or the idea that when you are in trouble, that your guides, teachers, angels will step up to the plate and embrace you and let their presence be known. And whichever form they are, if they're your child guide, if they're your master teacher guide, or whichever your Indian guide, that's they will reveal themselves to you in that way. So I don't know if that maybe helps you unweave any part of it.
It actually does. I did in 22, my mom, which I believe she's O positive. I believe that she spoke telepathy in another lifetime on another planet, things like that, because I think that's how she's able to receive information and coordinate certain pictures and things like that with my awakening, because in 2022, after I moved with Brian, she sent me this random picture of me when I was like a little over walking age, like in between 1 and 2, right? And guess where it was? Up where my four-wheeler accident happened, at my grandparents' cabin in the woods. And it's a random picture of me, and I'm this little girl, and this man is he's like in the squatting position, and I'm next to him, and I have these pants on, and they have little strawberries all over it, and it prompted me to ask my mom, what, what is this picture? I said, who is this man? And she's like, he was in the Navy with your grandpa. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, why am I up in the woods having a picture taken of me less than 2 years old with a Navy guy of my grandpa's, what's going on? So all this stuff came flooding in, and I just innocently asked my mom, I said, what is this picture? And she's like, well, oh my goodness, those are strawberries. And she's like, you got that nickname from your grandma, because we used to always go to the strawberry patch that's right there by the cabin. And, grandma nicknamed you Little Dutch Girl when you were a kid. And I was like, Mom, I don't remember that, because they know my memory's horrible, since my accident. And so I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Right. So, and then I'm just going to say this because it's in my mind. There's a thing called Project Strawberry, and this is going to come up later. The future proofs past and the time travel and the planting information is going to directly lead right back to that picture eventually. I know it. It's like one of those things that and it's going to. And like you said earlier, Kyle, we're to the point where we're ascending so much that, and I said this in my 64 group, no matter what I find out now, it does not have that power over me. So, and to Melzy's point, the experiences that we're having and had here, or in another lifetime, or on this timeline, were just that. It was an experience. It wasn't about us losing time. We didn't lose time. It just went away, possibly, for a grander plan, or to remember, it's like put it in your pocket, to remember it later. And it's just one of those things. So I'll yield.
Right. I just want to make an observation real quick too here, Melzy. Like, you're from Wisconsin. You mentioned that you are from Michigan. I myself was born and raised in Michigan. And in my late teens, early adult years, I lived several different places throughout the state, including the Upper Peninsula in Escanaba. So it's very interesting, that connection that we have. And my aspirations were to attend Michigan State University. So I always had
I
my
was
ear
Michigan State.
around there. And then I noticed a lot of those things. And my uncle was a horticulturist and a tree doctor. He was pretty affluent to and through the Michigan State University. He owned a big orchard in northern Michigan, and people from the university would contact him on a regular basis. So it's just kind of strange that we have that all three of us girls have that energetic connection of that region. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and Mel, yeah, the reason I wanted to ask you about Appleton, Wisconsin, is because, I just said I have most of my childhood memory I don't remember. Well, Brian, since 2022, we've been together 4 years. He's been documenting not only on a whiteboard, but like when I get downloads, I write in cursive, by the way, when I get downloads. I don't know if anybody else does. But what happens is he writes things down and things like that. Well, one day we were watching TV, and I'm not kidding. I could see the scene literally in my forehead. It's almost like I had eyes coming out of my forehead, and then eyes right here, just looking at the TV. And it was in Appleton, Wisconsin. And I trained there for Victoria's Secret, by the way. They flew me there to train from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So when I was there, and Brian drew pictures and everything else, I was freaking out. Like, I could not believe it was like a recall, right? Like, it just kept coming in and coming in. And there was, what it was is there was a two-way street, but I was in a hotel, and I wound up going outside, and we're talking about SSP right now, our super soldier program. And we know there's all kinds of energy weapons and all this kind of stuff. Well, there was a confrontation, and there was all these people outside and all this chaos going on. And all of a sudden, imagine in between this median, there's traffic coming this way and traffic going the other way. And I'm literally in the median, and I have the technology to put this bubble around me just like that, and nothing could penetrate, even though all this stuff was going on around. It's almost like the dimensions for whatever that time period was fighting without anybody else being aware or something, right? So it was the strangest thing ever. But again, it was in Wisconsin, and my nephew also played for the Green Bay Gamblers hockey team. So I've been to Wisconsin, several times. So and again, it's
My aunt was the runner-up for Miss Wisconsin. Yeah, and they use the pageant programs for the MKs, and so and my grandfather was an engineer for Uniroyal, which they made weaponry during the war. So there was a lot of, it was kind of like a sleeper, the perfect, place. They use it for test marketing and stuff. And anyways, that's kind of it's a deep subject, right? To get into.
We're in there now. We're in there deep on them now, baby. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and yet, it feels like there's a lot of unanswered questions that I have, and maybe like this couldn't be coincidence with some of my experiences that I have, or I have a very unique life. I don't know how to say that, but the places I've been, most people would never have access to, and how did I just arrive there? And so, yeah, that being said, um, I I believe too that I was followed by, like, I was followed by Quan Galt on Twitter, and I think about
Years ago.
Yeah, years ago. And I mean, that's pretty profound to think, like. And I felt like they knew, because they had used this looking glass, so they knew um, about things, and both in the future and I study quantum physics, but it's not just a studying. It's like I have downloads like you do. And um, I mean, why would I care about plasma physics or nuclear physics? It just doesn't. Most people could care less, but to me, it's like my passion. And where did that impassionment come from? Was that something that is my spirit, or is that something that was developed? I'm not sure. Or am I tapping into something? I think it could be all of those.
A little bit of both, huh? The quantum element of it all.
So, wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. It's like you were saying when we first started the segment today, that we've got this planetary alignment coming up that you wanted to speak of before we close out today, and people understanding, and we say that they're giving us the Schumann resonance to kind of like, why do I feel like this today? For people that have never had these deeper, profound experiences, like many of us are having these new experiences, in the scary new world that they don't fully understand, and trying to put all that together on simplest terms, but with no one left behind, it's got to make sense to everyone, right? So I know that it was important
Beautiful.
to you to explain the planetary alignment for the day too, Melzy, right?
Let's definitely include that one.
Oop, now I can't hear Mel.
That's okay. Yeah. Do you have that Oh shit, she was. Yeah.
It's-
Go ahead, Jay. Mel,
Go ahead,
you were
Jay, if you
muted.
have something to say, and then
Yeah, and then if you have the graphic, put in
it's
bright
in
idea.
Diggers.
Okay,
Or
Diggers.
Bright No, it's
Okay.
in Show
Let's
Staging.
figure out where it
A
is.
Bright
Okay,
Idea.
go ahead, Jay's with us though. Go ahead, Jay, brother.
Hey guys, thanks and thanks for the patience, guys. We're ready to roll whenever you guys are. So, a few disclaimers, right? Um, if there's anyone out there that needs any help, Kyle, I'm sure I know your DMs are full because you're a rock star, but this is a sensitive subject. I'm being honest here and sincere. If anyone's experiencing suicidal thoughts or going through it, please reach out. You know what I mean? We're talking on a sensitive subject. We don't want anyone, I'm going to say words to hype you up to look forward to that other side, but not for anyone to go take their lives, please. You know what I mean? If you're experiencing tough battles, all of us are here for you. Where we go on, we go all. You guys have all touched certain subjects. You know what I mean? So, right. With that said, can you guys back me up on that? We could reach out to each and everyone that you know.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And
Self-induced
that's
journey, not a thing. Don't do the self-induced journey, dudes. Come on. We
especially
need
our
you.
Nice.
Telegram.
So, welcome.
Our Telegram community, we got all you guys. We've been sharing that for a while on Q School, directing people to our Telegram community. We have all these amazing other people to the channels. We always try to shout them out. I know it's a little bit of a challenge to get into Telegram and all that stuff, but if you do that, we could be there for you. What you got, Mel?
I got this. We got
Could you
Cat.
mute my mic for a moment, please, Kyle?
You want me to?
Could you
Because
please mute my mic? So if I
you
touch
might
my
not be able to
screen,
hear us. You might.
Okay.
Okay.
She just wants.
All right.
Okay.
Mel's muted. Can't hear you, so we can't. All right. So Kat's here. Go ahead, Mel's. The comment from our beautiful Kat, who was, taking Brad in as well too. So what you got for us,
She
Mel?
says, "Tell Jamie and Brian hello." Also, the family, the
Funeral
funeral director for Brad had the family legally sign documents for me to have his ashes. Also, I get to see Brad off Monday and pray over him before cremated. That's
All right.
wonderful.
Thank you for the
That's good news.
message. Thank you for all that you've done as well, Kat. And we're very thankful for you and all that. We send our love, send some
Yeah.
prayers to Kat and all of us in our, all the community too, rallying together to handle all this situation and whatnot too. And we know Brad's watching over and he's part of the family here too. Again, we started the show with him just this 1 week ago today. So magical. And then look what we've started. And we just ask our friends out of the blue and boom, we got beautiful people popping up all over the place. We're talking about near-death experiences. We're going to SSP topics and my MK Ultra and missing time, missing memories. So we're here to help you guys understand it all. If y'all are here with us, I'm sure y'all have a lot of these things in common with you as well and resonate. So we'll help y'all work it together. And that's why we're coming together to help each other work through all this. Yeah, where we go one, we go all.
Yeah. All right. So, Jay, would you like to share your story?
Oh wait, unless I'm gonna unmute. Sonny, you want to be unmuted
Okay.
now? I think, right, Sonny?
Are you ready, Sonny?
Yes, indeed.
Sonny, could you hear us during that?
Yeah, I could hear
Okay.
you this time when
Okay.
you muted
So
me.
everything's good. Okay, cool.
So, thank you.
How's
let me.
my connection, guys? Probably not the best. Huh?
No, it sounds okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, if I may, undercover white hat in the chat. Actually, student of the tree says we have a local moon. It's not like it's one big base. I would agree with both. Under the dome, you said local moon. I'd probably absolutely local moon. But I do believe there are bases under the surface, or we've got a dark side of the moon that we never see. So I do believe in a few of those theories are most likely true. Just about possibly was the moon always here, or was it placed here? It's kind of hard to say if we are on a level plane with a dome. Then is the tide truly needed, or is it something that the moon controls and that was just another control factor? Hard to say. I don't know. I'd like answers to all those things. So yeah, it's frustrating that the shape of the earth and all of the surrounding questions to that has to be last seemingly in our disclosure. I've often asked Spirit about that and never really got a satisfying answer outside of the plan is perfect, shut your mouth kind of.
Yeah, sometimes they're not supposed to know, and I think also on our level, like you, those are things that are your own deeply profound belief. You share it. This is what you believe, and whether someone else believes or not, it doesn't. It's kind of irrelevant to you. Just that topic in particular, there's just certain things that whole community has never tried to address. So me, like both my parents are forensic scientists that came like out of the womb asking questions, and there's just simple questions from our observed reality that aren't answered. You know what I mean? Like, again, why is it always set beyond the horizon? If they talk about the perspective, why does the sun never shrink? How come the moon gets bigger? How come, again, the lunar eclipse with the solar eclipse 2 weeks in there? There's never answered. Again, if the moon's local, they also say the sun's local. I mean, again, I'm interested in all of it, and it's probably multiple answers. I always say it's both, right? It's like a quantum answer, right? There's layers and dimensions, and have you understand it and make you experience it on a plane. Also, I'm a big inner earth guy. And I really believe actually that's a kind of in my opinion, a side to distract from that, because it's or of a perspective, right? If you're looking out, or if you're looking at the universe through a mirror, even as you traveled inward, it would still be flat. I don't know if people could follow that too. So that's the land beyond. Because Admiral Byrd talking about Navy and program stuff is a deep connection to me. I've kind of hinted at a little bit. I guess we'll start getting into this stuff. The Admiral Byrd stuff, but the diary, he left from Iceland, so I'll just leave it at that. And they actually redo the thing. He left from Iceland. There's also the book Smoky God. They sailed beyond the north wind, so I encourage everyone to explore those topics, because again, once you're just exploring that, I just also encourage everyone to actually release these hard-held beliefs. And then in particular, that community seems the most hard-held. And then I just ask simple questions, and then you see the triggering, right? And I'm just like, why don't we even try to answer these questions? They're so hard-held belief. It's like, I'm open to being, again, multiple answers. I'm open to being wrong, but no one answers these simple questions. And that's really where we should all be at. And I think we are mostly, but some people claim to be truthers, but then you realize they're not, or we're not always aware of our own confirmation biases. So I encourage everyone to look into that too, to help yourself through this whole thing, because we get psyop from all kinds of different sides, right? And the more you know yourself, and the more you can wade through that, and that's what Attuned to You is all about. Know your inner core frequency. I can say for myself, shedding all this bullshit over years, I know my truth, and then I can also resonate with truth. And if someone's lying to me now, or if something is bogus, I can feel it, right? It resonates differently within you. So what a perfect compass for me. And I hope everyone can get the same thing.
Hey guys,
Anybody
can I
else?
ask, how's my
Great.
mic? Is this better,
And
or
then
would you like
Chase,
me to?
that
Yeah, come on in, Jay.
sounds good, brother Jane. He's ready to rock and roll. So I think he'll let him do his thing. And
It was
then
never bad, brother. You're good to go. You're good to
Oh,
roll.
very good. It's just a nice mic. Thanks, guys. No, so yeah, with that said, thanks. This is a cool, sensitive subject. You know what I mean? I've myself on my return delved into all this stuff. Right, Jamie, there's a show called Warrior Nun. Maybe everyone might want to check it out. You know what I mean? Excuse the blurriness and all that stuff. I'm in a car, amateur. You know what I
you're
mean?
fine, bro.
We don't get paid for
Hey,
this.
it's fun, man. It's all gravy, bro. It looks beautiful. It's cool. It's our
Thank
guides
you.
are with
You look
us.
beautiful.
Brad's tapping in. The Galactics, whatever. We're all tapped in, brother. You keep rolling.
Look at you guys shining. Look how beautiful Brian and Jamie look, and you look beautiful. You're shining. Thanks, Melzy. You're looking shining. Sunny, look at you. I love it. Thank you guys. Welcome IAMs. Welcome Q Schoolers, right? I don't like looking at the camera, so let me, flare myself off with that. Hey man, love you guys. So we started this off in that sense. I've been through a near-death experience. Near-death experience in Jumanji comes to 180, right? Sensitive subjects. Um, my other disclaimer is this is just a personal experience. I don't want anyone to take it in that weird sense of I'm trying to tell you what to do or what to say. You know what I mean?
Always, brother. Always, brother. Share away.
No, yeah, sorry, I had to roll up the window a little bit for y'all. So I don't want to tell anyone what to think. All this stuff. I'm going on my perspective, on my retainment, my, you know what I mean? So I'm just a vessel. To my understanding, I want to shed a lot of stuff. So yes, the veil is thinning. The veil has thinned. Look at Brad beautifully presenting it to us, right? Breaking it down. It's amazing how he made himself a Q member, right? Without knowing. Let me say something.
Right.
We're all going through some pains right now. So bear with us. You know what I mean? I had a 221 yesterday. Um, bear with us, guys. You know what I mean? For those that think or feel, there's those out there, shout out Rita's and the folks, oh, he's a Gone with the Winder or this. I don't know and I don't care. I'm feeling pain. I miss my brother in arms, you know what I mean? Just like I would miss any of you guys if I got to know you 5 seconds, preferably more than 5 minutes on our chats, right? Telegram or TikTok or wherever we're at, right? Instagrammers, I love you guys. So shout out General Apex and the young ladies doing their big thing. Um, Legendary. So with that said, so we all should, I love you guys. I'm reaching out to say that if I'm not there all the time, right? So in my experience, what had me come back was the desire, and I had vowed to my goddaughter something. So we all have something at some point, right, Kyle? You know what I mean? You want to strive for something, you know what I mean? So some of us don't make it. And again, I gave that disclaimer of if anyone's suicidal or anything feeling close, you know what I mean? Please fight on. This earth or what's coming, right, Kyle? The best is yet to. All right.
Yeah.
It's not even 2028
Always.
yet. Come on. When you
Always.
remove that
Always.
zero, you know what I mean? We're getting the best. Like, we don't know what it is. It
Always.
doesn't matter right now. Look, with that said, Kyle, Melzy, Tim, all these folks, Sonny have presented to you guys, even through Q School. I'm sure on Telegram for sure. We've talked about this endlessly. Ways to better ourselves or meet the technologies that are coming, the miracles from Christ, shall we say?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So until then, I can't call it. I can't give you a date. We don't date fact here. I do. I'm just kidding. So within the next 10 years, within the next 5 years, anyways, meet it. Let's work out a little bit more, do our thing. Brad was engaging in that stuff. Some people have certain physical things, right? Look at Kyle, perfect specimen. Look at him, but we don't know what he's going through abdominally, at the brain, at the this, we at the toe. We all have different things that can take us. Look at Bob
He's
Marley,
fucking super casting, bro.
right?
It's funny you
So
said
with
so
that
because my
said,
toes all smashed up.
you know what I mean. So for myself, I have a fourth of a lung missing, and I have a heart on mesh on my heart. So I feel and I understand what Brad was going through. You brought up plasma thing, Jamie, and it's beautiful because what if our boy Brad got visited by the plasma beings and he joined? So we were all going through health stuff. If his health was fading, we can't call it. And if his health faded to the point where he made it to the hospital and he chose to not stay for whatever reason, because heaven is beautiful. It's fun. I can't wait. I can't wait. But if heaven is coming to us, by all means, let us wait, right? So with that said, I'll continue. So yes, I had a near-death experience in 2017. I was attacked, so I coded. I don't know how long, essentially. Let's go with under 3 minutes of whatever that takes. So in my experience, I left some videos there. One of them is of Avicii. Okay. If you guys play that Avicii song, whenever it's outro or just show the setting, there's an Avicii song there with the laser effects. Have you guys ever been to a concert? Lasers, right? Right. So to me, that information, when I knew Jay wasn't in Kansas anymore, you know what I mean? We all dream, right? Here we go with the sleep is a cousin of death. This is where I wanted to segment this in. I think we all go through it, right? We're all getting older. What talk to a kid, that's 5 years old that's going through cancer or 10 years old. We don't know their pain or strife or what they're going through or their near death. You know what I mean? When you're sleeping, I tend to fall or feel like I'm falling sometimes and I catch myself and I'm like, dang, okay, that's like death near, right? Near death kind of thing. Whoa, sleep be the cousin of death, right? I think Nas said that, right? So if we quote these things and where did he give the wisdom from? New York style, wisdom, and all that stuff. This that era of the 80s of empowering oneself, knowledge of self, right? Wu Tang, all that stuff, beautiful stuff, right? So sleep is a cousin of death, very beautiful because it really is, right? So when we dream or when we sleep and we dream, we're still here, but yet there, right? We can't tell you that you didn't go there or feel it or experience it. So let's exclude feeling and let's just include experience. Are you experienced? Is everybody in? Is everybody right? They've tried to help us for a reason. So with psychedelics and with what these folks like Robert Kennedy, shout out all these folks, MAHA, right? Make America Healthy Again. Shout out to everyone with that. So right, the Petro. It's weird. We're encircling so many things, right? Colombian president Petro, all of a sudden, right? We could go on and on conspiracy, but all right. So in my experience, I was fading, right, guys? So what I wanted to ask Jamie in a bit if she can hold that answer is I'm a male. So I experienced the feminine aspect helping me and guiding me. Okay. So in my visions, I knew I was leaving kind of, and I would call it the halls of a mentee. Okay. So now I personally embodied the feeling and ideals of fuck that, fuck institutionalism, fuck programming, fuck Catholicism, fuck that. I don't want to create a hell, and I don't know what heaven is. I'll say that in a twisted version. I don't know what hell is. You know what I mean? And I don't, you know what I mean? You could mix it. It's just we're afraid of the unknown. Let us not be, because we're eternal. Let us side ourselves with the angelic realm. It doesn't really it it doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost you that much to be noble, kind, right? Whatever it takes, the parameters that Jesus Christ had set for us to, you know what I mean? And we live our lives and we eat piece of fruit from the tree. We eat a strawberry. You know what I mean? We eat a cherry, whatever you like. So many things, but this life, did we ask to come here? Let me get my notes out to establish this and say and ask you this. Um, if we see our life flash before our eyes, we die. Can we see our life flash before our eyes when we conceive or conceived? The spark? What is time and space? If dreams, when we dream, it's technically like the last 10 minutes, always for me, where I'm like, all right, let me zone out for another 10 minutes, it's a snooze. And I have the most powerful dream where it's like, felt like 5 days worth, right? So what is time and space? Right, go ahead, Kyle.
Just want to add, like, for many years I've not dreamt, but I would have that every now and then. I'd be really tired and I'd fall asleep for like 10 minutes and it'd be like the wildest dream, like almost just what you're saying. I didn't want to add that though, but
Right,
really
time and
interesting.
space, fractal. So we love Brad. Thanks for being here. Thanks for still being here. Right. I don't understand all that stuff. Right. I want to be hopeful for a lot, but since he has transitioned, life is infinite. There's certain folks. Yes, life is infinite, guys. From my experience, I will say love life, love thyself, appreciate thyself, know thy truth within your own heart paradigm where it's your truth. No being, not Kyle, not myself, not this, not institution can tell you anything about that stuff. You know what I mean? So with that stuff said, you know what I mean?
Yes, I
Sure.
think we get it, Jay.
So I actually had one powerful dream, just like Jay said, last few minutes of the sleep, and I remember distinctly looking to my right within the dream and seeing Jamie right there, and then looking back forward, and we're both strapped into what I would describe as a jump chair because then we went at beyond light speed forward, and it was as if I was there, and then boom, I come out of it, right? But I had to. It was profound. It came with an emotional tie to the experience, right? So it really felt real. And I would have afterwards. I described it as a lunar base, as a lunar jump room. So it's just interesting that we're on this topic of moon bases and whatnot. So
He woke up and he was like, "Oh, you were there." And he and I have, you guys, most of our dreams we do not remember. I've
No, we don't
remembered less
remember.
than 10 in my whole life. Okay, that's how it is. But I do believe in being bilocated. I do have some energetic memory from when I was being in the programs, however you want to see that. And I know that during certain experiments, they weren't able to contain me. Like I was not having it. I was out. I was bilocated. I was out of my body, and they knew it. And they kept trying to contain me, and they could not. And I'm not saying that at all in a conceited way or anything like that. But there's definitely something there. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's exercise. Sometimes even females in particular are sought out in the programs because they're more spiritually tapped in. So if we can enhance anything physically that we want, well, who do we want? We want the most intuitive, empathic, spiritually connected people. And so that's a pretty common theme, even like what things Jay was sharing there too. So I think this is a good introduction for all this. It was kind of cool how we flowed. We went to different topics. I think, again, we've introduced the things. It wasn't the right time for Jay to share his full story, but he got to share all these perfect bits that we need to hear at the right time. And everyone got to add a little bit, and we got to introduce the SSP programs, which again, I will just call super soldier programs. So if y'all been listening, we've been sharing that. Circle back, full circle of common themes. Most of the people maybe heard this stuff, but there's also really good people out there that have been sharing for a while. Now it's been around. There's infiltration, but you can pay attention, use your intuition. I kept thinking of the name Tony Rodriguez for you, Jamie. Okay, so you're familiar with Tony Rodriguez. That's a really unique one too, because he's so if you're familiar, kind of all those topics, and I've been called those topics a long time. I know them well. I've actually been on a show with a couple people. Another guy, he went by Johann Fritz.
How can I can't. There's like extra noise. I'm gonna stay here, but it would be.
I want to be closer to
Watch it, Jay. Your mic's up.
We got him.
Yeah.
It's like coming through still. How's that going?
Yeah, Kyle. So Johann's great. He got with Suzanne, I believe.
Turn off the car, bud.
A lady that was also in the program. So they were a pair, a couple.
A really unique.
He's just a brilliant guy. I love him. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, make shit up here. I'm not gonna steer.
The full circle with that, when I was in the topic years ago, before we had the Telegram chats, even, I think it was like 2019, they had a YouTube channel, Quantum Red Pill Cafe, and I actually went on there with them as a Zoom call. And so I did like this 6-hour call. Then fast forward Telegram, we started having channels, and I knew back then that it was people were going to flock to Telegram, and I wanted some of those early channels so I actually secured at Secret Space Programs plural on Telegram. I still have it.
Let me get all the
and long story
cans
short,
out.
they came together, started on the healing thing, and she found my channel just through that search and contacted me. And then I actually did like a I wasn't sure which I was gonna maybe do a service in theirs, and I was like, I don't know which one to do. So I did a consultation thing, right? And I wasn't even good, because one of the things they specifically do is for helping SSP veterans, though. They're healing both of them together. And I saw that topic, and I was going to say thing. I was avoiding it. I wasn't going to bring it up. And he brought it up without me asking. And that was again the first confirmation. And then I got another one later. But they're really cool. And so that was just interesting connection that we all have. I think he goes by his regular name now. I think Johann Fritz was the SSP name. I'm not familiar. I got to catch up with them. But it's really cool that we all have this deep connection. And obviously Brad did too. And again, that community, like James Rink is a really important one to me that I learned a lot. I guess he just passed away. So it's tripping everybody out. Are they helping us from the veil, or is it my duty to share more of James Rink information? You know, he was one of these first people on the front lines of learning that he was a super soldier, and he remote viewed his files, and they even figured out he remote viewed them, and then they like tore the stuff up. It was like in a Vatican, or not Vatican, but it was like in a library, like in the Capitol building, something weird. It was something strange like that. He's got a great story, and he wrote a book called Lone Wolf. So many of y'all might resonate with that too. The wolf or lone wolf programming, that's similar things also. So I think we'll leave it at that for this week. And anything else you guys want to close up with? Thanks for showing up. And again, we weren't sure what we'll do. We're going to try to keep showing up every week. Obviously, Mel and I are doing a lot of shows on Q School. We would like to do maybe like 3 days a week of that, but the news is just so bonkers. But that would be cool too, Brian. And if you guys did stuff, maybe a couple days too, or whatever. We want to have you on anyways, but maybe that would take a little pressure off, and we're all working. And then we can still try to do some sort of. We'd like to keep doing this Atuned to You show, and we got such a great community. I think we can have people show up and help us.
Let me correct myself real quick. It was Johan was with Jody Reynolds. I said Suzanne.
Oh,
it was
okay.
the wrong name.
Jody, that's right. That sounds, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that correction. Cause I was like, I didn't think it, but Johan and Jody, thank you for that.
Yeah. But she was great too. So, yeah, I remember it. It's funny how certain names stick with you in certain interviews from that. And I don't know. I'm a big believer in that. If you were able to sit and watch and be interested with these stories from these different SSP program members, it's like you were meant to, right? Like,
absolutely.
I don't know.
If you're drawn to this topic, it's 100%. Yep.
Yeah. There's a reason for it, and you look at, like mine is the AB negative blood, right? So I've got this targeted blood type, and drawn to numerics, right? And just all this code breaking stuff. And I don't know, I could just see a scenario quite easily where, I was put through it and memory wiped in some whatever way they do it. And here I am, right? And I think we were all like placed with handlers without even realizing, right? And so a lot of
and he was in 2 sleep studies.
You look at your timeline, and usually it is in like 10 or 20 year kind of increments where something feels off about that span in your life, right? It's between 15 and 20 years. And I think that's a lot of times program related, where certain contracts, however you want to word that or think of it, expire or go about, or maybe you're in that timeline, you're freed mentally in some way, or rescued. A lot of times when they say the Galactic Federation like rescued me at this time, like even Elena Denon talks about being rescued a couple of times by her contact, right? In the anyways, I think a lot of times that is having some sort of mental lock, taken away, or maybe an implant that you have. They're able to just like deactivate that to where you're now. Whoa, excuse me. That's a new feature.
Here's right.
Camera distract.
I agree. I think they put like
Oh.
a psychic lock on it. Like
Yeah.
I've tried to regress, and
There's some blocks on some things for
it
sure.
is,
too.
and
It's been interesting when
maybe
people.
it's just not the time.
Yeah,
So
and it's interesting when people shared a couple times today when the frequency went a little weird. Sometimes it happens too. We're channeling high information also, or you're saying something that again, I believe we're always protected from our tippy top crew. So, they kind of guide us if we forget what we're talking about, or if we're supposed to cover a certain topic.
looks like we have Tim 17 in the house.
Oh shit! Oh, what's up, Timbo?
Hey,
Hey, buddy.
Tim, love you.
Hang on.
Sorry, I've got issues.
Good to see Timbo there. So, okay, so anyway, wrap it up. I thought I had one more thought. Anything else you guys want? I get Jamie and Brian working on their camera over there. Sunny, anything? And then Jay came in here too. Let me bring Jay back on in case, and then go.
Not
No,
necessarily.
yes, sir. Yes, guys. If you give me like a few minutes, I'll wrap it up real quick, and I have, you know what I mean, just to empower everyone, essentially.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
And a different one for the end.
If
So, Jamie-
you were able to play that video,
you
if you
got
were able
it.
to play that video, psychedelics, Robert Kennedy, it's on the
Robert
show.
Kennedy? Okay. And then, damn, I want to show these things on the celestial alignment too. Dang it.
Oh, let's pull up the celestial alignment right now.
Okay, let's show this real quick what's happening, because it is today right here.
I keep
so let me show this graphic and make it on the screen so it looks good for everybody.
Trying to remind you now.
So a cosmic alignment is happening, and Jupiter will be the brightest object in the night sky after the moon. There's something y'all can look at. By the way, too, if they're fixed, how do the planets go in retrograde? Another question nobody answers for me. On January 10th, a celestial alignment known as opposition will occur as Earth passes directly between the Sun and Jupiter. This precise positioning ensures that the gas giant is fully illuminated by the Sun, causing it to shine fiercely at magnitude 1.7. The graphic will explain that. You can see it there. Let me show you what it looks like, actually, so you guys know what they're saying here. January 10th. Major cosmic alignment. Earth and Jupiter will line up with the Sun this week, giving us our closest approach to Jupiter this year, and the giant planet will shine at its brightest. So if you guys see this, if this just makes even sense physically, from physics, is the Sun is shining directly at Jupiter, and it's directly, and then Jupiter is so much bigger than Earth too, that it's going to be the most lit up, which is crazy. But let's see if this guy explains it better. During this specific window, Jupiter will appear larger and more brilliant than at any other point in 2026, outshining every star and planet currently visible to the naked eye, and providing a world-class show for observers across the globe. To catch the cosmic display, look towards the constellation Gemini. As the sun sets, Jupiter will rise in the east and remain visible throughout the entire night, reaching its highest point in the sky around midnight before setting at sunrise. So that's pretty fun, cool. While the planet is easily identifiable as a steady, brilliant light without any special equipment, a simple pair of binoculars will reveal its 4 largest Galilean moons, or Galilean, offering a front row seat to the complex mechanics of our solar system from our own backyard. So I didn't know you can do that with binoculars. That seems pretty extreme to me, but certainly a telescope. But I don't know, maybe you can with binoculars. That's pretty crazy. Those are other questions I have. People with binoculars can see certain things. So those are just more questions, answered questions. What's this one? Was this yesterday? Mars at solar conjunction, whatever that is. Sun's embrace. I'm going to leave that one alone. But this was today, the January 10th. So that'll be interesting to watch tonight. If you guys get a chance, take some pictures if you can. Jupiter's going to be by, I think, is it by the moon tonight too also? And then I have, here's now we're going to go into this. This is the 5-minute thing about psychedelics with Robert Kennedy. And then Jay will close this out. And then I got a little 2-minute video to close it all down. So here we go.
What are your thoughts on psychedelics?
My initial bias about psychedelic drugs.
Sorry, guys.
Psychedelic drugs is again colored by my experience of being in recovery for 40 years. I don't think that in most cases that we can fix things that are wrong inside of us with things that are outside of us, with all the things that we reach for when we feel discomfort, whether it's drugs or alcohol or sex or reckless behavior. Particularly people who are prone to addiction are always looking for things outside of them to fill this empty hole that they have inside of them. Having said that, my wife in 2012 took her own life and left me with 6 children. And so all of those kids were at risk at the time. And they all ended up doing really wonderful things with their lives. And one of them was worrying to me because he never processed his mom's death in a way that I could observe. He seemed like a happy kid. He was always smiling. He did get in a lot of fist fights. He became a boxer and he won a lot of tournaments, and then he became a hockey player. But everything he did, there was a little bit of violence too. And it made me worried about him. About 5 years ago, he was very self-contained. He never talked about what was going on inside of him. And he went to Patagonia to kayak a whitewater river. And I asked this guy to put my son up for a couple of days while he was waiting for his trip to start. The night my son arrived there, that guy said to him, "I'm doing an ayahuasca trip tonight." And he said, "God sent you boys to me," because he was doing it with 20 Puente Indians. And he said, "I was praying to God that he would send me a gringo to do this with." And so my kid ended up doing this. And he had this experience where after he drank the ayahuasca, he felt himself sinking through all the geological strata of the earth. And he could look at all of it. He told me he could look at all the folds of stone and geology. And he had a total understanding of all of the processes that had laid them out for the eons. He ended up being propelled out of the other side of the earth and then floating through space for what he experienced as hundreds of years. And he would focus on a distant planet and be transported there. And on each planet, he would have an adventure. At the end of the adventure, there would be a lesson, a moral lesson that he would learn, that he was supposed to remember. The last planet he visited, his mother was there. And she started passing through him, in and out of him again and again. And every time she did that, he felt all these experiences of forgiveness, of love, of understanding, of comprehension, of empathy and compassion. And when he came back from that trip, he was completely changed. He was very open about talking about his feelings. He was on a real spiritual quest. The reason I really know that it changed him is he started taking out the garbage and doing the dishes. And he's done the dishes constantly without ever being asked since then. He's a 24-year-old kid, so you know that's a miracle. So that opened my mind to the possibility that there may be, something that I didn't understand or that was outside of my kind of bubble of prejudices. And then I have a friend who's a Navy SEAL who had severe PTSD, and he went to Costa Rica and had the same kind of experience. And I had a couple of other friends who were in the NFL, and they also had severe brain injuries and depression, terrible, terrible depression. And the same thing happened. And then I looked at Michael Pollan's documentary, which I think is on Netflix. I think the third show was on psilocybin. And there's a kid on that show who had severe OCD. He literally could not go out of his house. And he did one psilocybin trip, and it was completely gone. So my mind is open to the idea that, there may be things that I don't know about, and that people ought to have the freedom and the liberty to experiment with these things. I like what you said at the outset, which is, we know the capacity of the pharmaceutical industry to come and capture this if they see that there's money in it, and then to turn it into something very, very bad, and to promote it in ways that it shouldn't be promoted. My inclination would be to make this available at least in therapeutic settings and maybe more generally, but in ways that would discourage the corporate control and exploitation of it.
Kennedy 2024. Oh wait, we got him. We got him. We got him. Wild journey it's been.
He got us. We got him, and he got us.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that? So, hey guys, Kyle could have, right? Kyle could have came on and told us everything about anything. Nobody's believing shit. Melzy could have came on. Brian, Sonny could have came on. It takes Robert fucking Kennedy to come on and, you know what I mean? Dispel notions, provoke things, make things provocative. But it's a beauty because they've suppressed it. So he said out like outsource, or what did he say? Out something. What was that word? If we could find it, but if we could use that word with near-death experience, is what I want to say is what the Catholic system has done. Maybe tried to imprison us, created a paradigm, created a universe, a pocket universe, Brian, of belief system that we're supposed to incarcerate ourselves because of such, because we did this, because we, the fuck, right? So with that said, to empower you, don't go out to sin. Don't knowingly do things. The Akashic records are real. I would say, suppose, right, Jamie? Fucking real. So things are marked. Go ahead. right?
No, you,
Oh, I was just gonna say 1,000%. The Akashic records are real.
right? So we're marked. We're marked. So don't go out doing things. And what is thought, right? We're engaging. We're reaching singularity. Don't quote me on it. Quote fucking Elon. So prepare thyself. So psychedelics. The reason why I introduced that and I had that said, if anyone is feeling to a point where they need to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Look outwards to look within. Please, not medical advice, not health advice, none of that stuff. Just to each their own. I'd like to microdose. Shout out to Dallas calling that Michael Negative 48 did in 2021. Believe it or not, guys, I was antisocial. Only Telegram could deliver, you know what I mean, our voice and not be seen. I was invisible man for the most part, wore a mask, like a literal mask. Again, I had a heart issue, post surgery. I had my lung, you know what I mean? So I wore the face mask, the N95 mask in 2018 before everyone did for aesthetic purposes and because the Japanese do and they look cool, right? Anyways, but I passed out a few times. So with that said, you know what I mean? I don't recommend the mask, but real quick.
Sonny's got to go. Say it, Sonny. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. And see, that's the phone call. That's Brad. Brad, we love you. Thank you to everyone, curious about that stuff. The psychedelics will take you closer to self, know thyself. So in my near-death experience, I traveled. I saw a bunch of information. Okay, know thy heart. Okay, healthy self, heal thyself. Okay, it's the same words. Healthy self equals heal thyself. Okay, think positive thoughts, manifest. Understand the paradigms, the veil is thinning. If you would like to engage in that, by all means, go ahead. Don't be afraid. We were just empowered by Bobby Kennedy and folks like Trump and what they're doing, right? Ibogen, is it, Melzy?
Ibogaine. Ibogaine is from the
Ibogaine,
iboga
Ibogaine.
root. Iboga root, and I think you shared that amazing documentary. We got to play that one about the soldiers.
I'd
but-
love to do a show actually.
Yeah, but we want to do a whole
just
show on
that,
it. Yeah,
that
for
whole
sure.
thing. I just lost connection.
Oh, yeah, Jay, we definitely want to still do a whole show with you. So I think we're losing Mel. So I got
No,
closing
yes,
video.
indeed. So with that said, right, with touching on psychedelics and the unknown, start there if one's afraid or curious. Because I'm afraid of death, but I'm also curious. So I somehow body prepared me. I don't know about you, Jamie. I don't know if your spirit prepared us. So again, if at the conception we see our life flash before our eyes, and also upon death, right? What is time? What is right? What is time capsulization? Ready? Why did I bring up psychedelics? One fucking drop of LSD can take you there. One drop, the molecule, spirit molecule. What is DMT? Okay. What does DMT do during sleep? What is breathing exercises through DMT? You don't want to engage in psychedelics, marijuana? Fine. There's breathing exercises, right, Kyle, folks? You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
achieve all that stuff, Wim Hof, all that stuff, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
know thyself, heal thyself. Now, if we'd like, if you guys like to further quiet time and have me go slow, so this was an introductory little thing. Do not fear death. I questioned things. So upon leaving, I guess, let me say, I saw, well, I questioned a lot. I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I didn't see my grandma or I didn't see my grandpa. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, but I knew something was different. And I knew I was going on that rail that, you know what I mean? We're not in Kansas anymore, right, guys? Kind of thing. It's not a dream. It's not a this. So in my disconnection, there's that video of Avicii with the green laser lights. To each their own. That's what was for me. It was feminine information. So it was a feminine embodiment of the female divine structure comforting me. So because I'm a male. So that's why I asked Jamie, hey, was it a male figure or so what did you feel? For me, it was a female aspect. The information with the laser lights, as I can explain it, in an inverted elevator that I felt I was floating, yet not floating, yet going up, yet which felt interesting. But within that, going into my heart to pineal to source, um, I saw a lot of information. Okay. So when I got to the pearly gates, no, I don't know. I don't want to say it is purgatory that we're all going to encounter. We do get prepared. So please, I don't want to go into the heaven aspect yet because I don't understand it. If I can recommend a few things, a few brothers in this movement, right? Robin Williams. Shout out Robin Williams. There's another movie. Shout out Sean. Love you, Shawnee boy. Prayers to Sean. You know what I mean? The five people we meet in heaven. He recommends the movie. Five people we meet in heaven. I would recommend What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding Jr. Right? There's many other all that stuff. The mushroom stuff that's available on the psychedelics and all that stuff. I believe it's called the Spirit Molecule documentary. Engage with that. Get to know thyself. Again, you don't have to go there, but just we're all gonna experience it. Be not afraid. I am not one to tell you what to experience. I will say, please question things, but only because you know thyself and you don't want the institutionalized information to scramble you and confuse you and make you go into a prism. Angles, 180, 90. Start this recording over, and Kyle brought up 90 degrees. Okay. All right. Love you guys. If you guys want to delve further, let's do a part two.
I love it, brother. I love it. I love it. I'd love to just keep hitting record. Jay's ready to rock, but let's leave that as a teaser for everyone. Let's continue that, and maybe we can you get it out of your chest on Telegram. Join us in our Telegram channels tonight. I don't know where we're gonna be. We highlighted I Am Rising's channel. Y'all get that link there. It's IM's SH. You got the link there. Beautiful at the bottom. T.me is the short form of Telegram. IM's SRT, the Rising V2. I think if you put in some of those keywords, it should pop up, but that's the exact one there. So take a screenshot if you want. Be in the chat. Y'all know our boots on the ground chat. Jay's usually in there. Sunny also. We're on those different network of channels. We're sharing those all the time. So you guys should know where to find us at. Maybe Jay's going to go deeper on that on the Telegram.
Definitely, and shout out Jamie. What's your? I just shared it recently on Patriot Alliance. Shout out Vinny X and all those folks.
Vinny, Patriot Alliance, woo woo, in the videos.
Right. Near Death Experience is your channel. Beautiful, huh? How this plays out. Thank you, Jamie. You're the reason why I invited her is I wanted to offer a sense of feminine energy introduction. I didn't want you to think, oh, this male energy of near death experience, do this and do that. It's up to you guys because I experienced the feminine energy. So with that said, Jamie, what were your thoughts on what you experienced, a male or female energy?
Well, all I can tell you, because I don't remember anything, is what I feel like in the now moment. And it definitely is a feminine energy. And I also, my dad had in-house hospice. He passed away in 2010. And I watched him. I took like a month off of work and, stayed the night there, almost every night. And he was fading in and out of consciousness. And I literally watched him, talk about my mom's uncle or something. And he said, he wasn't a good fisherman. And my mom said he wasn't a good fisherman. He's like, well, he is now. And he didn't even know that he couldn't see me. My dad did. It was like he was talking to himself, but he was responding to what my mom and I were saying. And nobody can tell me that isn't, seeing beyond the veil and being bilocated. He was at that moment. And I know we'll get into it, but when you feel the feminine aspect, your crown chakra and above typically is what, as far as I'm concerned, as far as energy is felt, like the tingling on the top right of my crown, or the outer sides of my in the heart chakra, but mostly the crown. Were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, nice. Write that down, Kyle. We'll do chakra stuff. Very good. And we'll do OBEs, out of body experience, to delve further on what we see when we think we're leaving or dreaming. Much love.
Can
By the way, Jamie's channel is called Pieces, and then in parentheses, near death experiences. So that's it. Pieces.
I'll be sharing that channel on Melzy's channel, guys, and
Yeah,
Patriot Alliance again.
we'll
Love you
put the
guys and
links in
thank
our
you.
channels.
I say that because I like to set the precedence that I want to do a more of a Telegram voice, intimate kind of a session, right? We could be quieter, right? We were experienced with that. This is a little bit newer technology for me, different setting on Restream and all that stuff. So shout out Rumble, shout out everyone. But on join us on Telegram, the IAM's channel and or her channel, and we'll feature a more intimate setting where, you know what I mean, we can mute mics, but I'll present something and we could feature others.
Thank you. And it's all just for learning, you guys. We're all in this together. Nobody above the other. It's purely what I put out there. I feel like is source, closely connected inside of me, speaking through me. A lot of the time. So it's near and dear to my heart. Just like Brian with his decodes. Everything we do, you guys, is a reflection of the divine and of God Himself. So thank you.
Could I maybe offer something to confirm the feminine energy essence that you both speak of from your experience? The closest that I know of that has been able to be arrived at for referring to the Holy Spirit in Aramaic is Ruka Dakucha. So Ruka Dakucha being the Holy Spirit, and you spoke of the heat of, the top of your head, like as in the day of Pentecost. And Ruka Dakucha is, in fact, a female essence, as the Aramaic know it to be. And hopefully that supports you in your
Wow.
impression.
If I may continue with this one, Fibonacci sequence, the spiral on the top of your head. She felt a heat. Fibonacci sequence when we go in, as within, so without, all the way into source, all the way to pineal. We're infinite.
You guys, I have one more. I have one more thing because I know this always comes up, but my daily devotional today, like literally speaks to this, and it's very short, and it does have the Holy Spirit included. So I mean, what better way to end? I'm sorry, I'm super emotional right now. Okay, so and we were just talking about no one above the other, and it's titled "No One Greater." And it's John 3:30. He must increase, I must decrease. John 3:30. And at the bottom it says, Holy Spirit, grant me the gift of true humility. And there's more to it than that, but I'll leave it. But talk about synchronicity.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, everybody. Love, love, love. Thank you, guys. We're going to play this little minute clip and then we'll close it out. If you guys want to be on the back end to hang out, but we're going to probably take off pretty quick, but y'all want to jump in there if you want to. Otherwise, thank you guys for being here today. Love, love, love. And thank you guys for joining too on the streams and the comments and all the love out there from our family. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back soon. Love,
Thank
love, love.
you. Love, love, love.
Love, love, love.
Oh yeah, love that everybody. Love, 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 Dad, Brad. Love to y'all. Love y'all.